Hi, I'm Heather Campbell, Executive Director, and our board and staff are always listening to the community and to the survivors we're serving and looking at what are the unmet needs and how do we think about services in ways that will help meet those needs. And this year we're really excited to be able to talk to you about some of the ways that we are going to be able to expand services to better be able to meet some of those needs in our community. This is our second anniversary this month of owning our administrative building, and I want to thank those of you who were a part of making that happen, those of you who gave gifts and donations that made that a reality. When we purchased the building, we did it with an eye towards both making sure that we sustained a home in the core of downtown Ithaca, but also with an eye towards expanding and knowing that there were unmet needs that we wanted to be able to make sure we had room to meet. And I'm really happy to tell you that that is happening this year, that this fall we'll be occupying an additional floor of our administrative building, and that's allowing us to expand services in three different ways. One is that we're going to be able to continue our civil legal representation program. So our legal services program we just had our first anniversary of providing these services, and so we're providing free legal representation to victims of sexual and domestic violence in our community, and this has been a really huge success, and we're happy to be able to provide a better physical office space for these services to continue. We're also really happy to announce that for the first time ever, we're going to have in-house clinical therapy services and be able to provide trauma-informed therapy to survivors of sexual violence and domestic violence who wouldn't be able to access those resources using other means. We've now hired our first clinician, a youth and family therapist, who's going to be starting this spring and is going to be working with children who were sexually abused and their non-offending family members. To give you a sense of just the scope of this, we now are up to 26 staff people, our advocates, our education staff, our small administrative team, and we are really excited to be able to meet this need that has been identified by survivors. People have said to us for a long time, I wish I could get my therapy services through your agency, and now we'll be able to provide some of that. We're also happy to announce that as of last fall, we are officially the designated Child Advocacy Center for Tompkins County. And what that means is actually not a lot of change in terms of how we're providing services to children and teens who've been sexually abused and their non-offending family members. But what it does is it allows us to think about more focus and think about how we're providing these services and work with our investigative partners and looking at what are the ways that we can reduce trauma even more for children and teens who are going through this process. So we, starting this fall, will be able to move our child interview room into our administrative office building and really update and modernize that space to have a new child-friendly family waiting room. And we'll also have the on-site advocacy and therapy services in the same location, as well as some space for our investigative partners, law enforcement and child protective services, to have some space in this building so that we make sure that we're doing the best teamwork we can to help kids in our community. I really thank the community for their support. That's really allowed us to do this. If you want to know more about any of these changes or the other services that we're providing to survivors in our community, please come to our annual meeting. Look for more information soon about that. It is Wednesday, March 25th between 5:30 and 7. And also look below for information about our Kids Are Business Breakfast, which is really our signature fundraising event this June. Thank you so much for your support.